Now let's look at South Africa as a country.
Yeah.
What future do you think it holds for you as a youth?
As a youth.
And what do you bring to the table in South Africa?
Okay. Looking into the country's future, I see as though I said that we are an ungrateful youth, but that's not always the case. Majority, when you speak about something, it is when you are referring to the majority, right?
Indeed.
Because you take the modal views on that matter. So now I'll be facing, because you are now forcing me to look at this matter into another way, so I'll just do so. So I'll be now speaking on behalf of the minority of those who do really appreciate and take much consideration of the challenges that our past generations had to face. So when looking into South Africa's future, I do really see a bright future, but whose future will be tarnished by those ungrateful people. A rotten potato, one rotten potato in a basket does affect all the potatoes. But let me tell you what, we have a strong youth. Like just looking at our societal youth, like the likes of Imminati James, the likes of who we know as Olilita Chibibokwe, the likes of many people, including myself too, obviously. And yeah, yes. So we do carve our future presidents there, the likes of you guys into politics who do speak out and voice out the concerns of the youth. That is one step to connecting and brightening the future, and us also empowering and voicing out factors that empower the youth, and for us to be able to identify factors that demoralize the youth and finding solutions to those factors that demoralize the youth. That means a lot. That takes a lot of courage to voice out factors that are unpopular in our society, as we know that our society is popularized and its interest is in the use of substances, drugs and alcohol, many more. That demoralizes our youth, and it is mainly the youth that uses these substances. But for us to be here at this time and place, it takes much courage to be able to turn our backs on the popular things and just focus on yourself and be selfish of your time and look at what will benefit you and what you will get out of it, which is where I come in. For me to be here at this time and place, for me to not be on the streets, because I could be doing something that I think is much more important than this, which is substances. But look at me, here I am, which is one step to brightening the society and the nation's future, also by speaking out and hearing you guys' opinions as well as other people's opinions. It liberates us as youths, and this also teaches you, even though it takes maybe less minutes, but it also teaches you on how to look things from a different stance, how to approach things from a different angle, and how to have a different perspective, because I have gotten your views and now I'll try to see from what angle you've taken or seen that view, and that is also how I'll also approach it to a problem that I face, and then that angle may help me conquer that challenge. And as a youth, that is also discussing problems and having many point of views is one of the things that we should use to brighten the state's future.
Wow. If we just have a round of applause in that door. Wow. So as we were speaking, I was just listening and trying to get the background of where that information is coming from. And as you were speaking also, I noticed that you spoke of substance. And I just want to expose something right here, something I want to expose. Okay, just bear with me here. So, where did this substance come from? Where, do you guess any part of the world, where do they come from mostly, these substances?
The substances, they come from,
You can say foreign countries?
yeah, foreign countries, but...
Alright, foreign countries. Now, who is in charge of what comes in and goes out of the country?
Isn't it our trade unions? I'm not very sure.
Very sure. Who is in charge of what goes in the country and what goes out?
The people.
The people. And?
Government.
The government. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. So, the youth is what? Is being demoralized by this substance.
Yeah.
So then who is to blame for this substance? Since this substance comes out of the country, and the government is in charge of what goes in and goes out. Would you say the government is destroying its own youth?
No. No, I wouldn't say that, because if you look at this way, these substances do have age restrictions, right? Like tobacco and alcohol can't be sold or taken in by children, minors actually, younger than the age of 18, right? And these substances, we could say that it's not really the government, although it is the government who lets this into the country, but it is the government just plays its role by having age restrictions. Who I think we should thoroughly blame for these are our parents.
Fulani, what do you think? Who should blame for this demoralization
And yourself
of the youth?
also.
Yeah, the people.
And yourself
The
too.
people are to blame for
Yeah, the society and yourself too.
this. Alright, let's see. What do you think?
For me, I don't think I think we're all to blame. Yeah, I don't think the country will move forward if we're just pointing fingers at each other.
Yeah.
And I've seen it in politics, is that one, and the country's been stuck. So for me, I think everyone is to blame, and everyone should take responsibility. When I say everyone.
Even those that never touched substance?
Those who are involved, everyone. Maybe that way things can be for the better. So that is what I think.
Well, this is what I think. I think in order for the youth to come in contact with this substance, there is something that pushes them. Because in our homes, many children grow up without a father. Many do not know their father. And that's a very sensitive, touching issue. As much as they may say, I don't need him, but truly there is something that triggers a child to be involved in such. And I believe this lack of love from both parents. The absence of a father can cause a child, can demoralize a child without even them even knowing. So I believe that before we can point fingers, we need to identify what pushes them to doing that. Because we can put food here, but it is my choice to eat it. I make the decision either I'm gonna eat or not. Just as much as we can put a substance here. Savannah, Hennessy, like Laywood, all those.
You name it. Yeah.
You name it. But it comes to me, if I'm gonna touch it or not. So the last decision is mine. And that decision will be influenced according to how I feel and how I view them.
Yeah. But can you please just look at it this way, right? You said we should look at what pushes them. Do you know that there are many children out here on the streets who I personally know, who take these substances, but they come from a loving, heartwarming, full of warmth, like a warm family, who has both their parents who love them, who love their child equally, and that child receives everything that he or she wants. But do you know what is the main thing that pushes them to do these things?
Please enlighten me.
It's the morals of the streets. When you get on, look, you can agree to whatever your mother or your father says to you at home when your friends, your peers are not watching. But trust me, when you go out there on the streets, you still will have those morals of your parents, but they are not there to help you remind and remember those morals when you face challenges on the streets like peer pressure, right, of taking these substances in. When you see your friends doing this, then they tell you that you're weak because you're not, then immediately your home morals, they flash away, right? And then the street morals now come up. You just untie your t-shirt, you now lower your jeans to be at the bottom of your butt. Like, you see, but when you go back home, you will pull your pants back up because you know that your mother doesn't want what you are doing. But you on the streets, you want to look like other kids. You don't care. That's what I said. That's why I said that we, as we sit here, we do have an influence in brightening and lightening the nation's future. Because as we sit here, we turn our backs on the use of the substances, because I could have been out there on the streets taking in substances, identifying and clarifying it as something more important to do than sitting here and finding factors to empower the youth.